Hey guys, Function here, and I'm recording a post-production video or clip for the draft which you're about to watch. I just wanted to say a couple comments. First off, I realize that even right now, my camera is probably not located in the best spot for while you're watching draft. It's kind of covering up what cards I currently have highlighted, and I will have to change that and fix that in the future. Also, as I was just realizing and then re-realizing, my FunktionFails logo up in the top corner, whichever one of these it is on your screen, is covering up how much currency I currently have. And I could have even removed it while recording this video, and then I realized it had spoiler alerts in how much I currently had, so I had to re-record the video. Anyhow, I will fix that in the future, and you can look forward to that. Otherwise, this is the very first draft of my budget challenge. There might be a little bit of rambling at one point, but I'll put some little notes and annotations on the screen when you might be able to skip ahead if you don't want to hear me talking about nuances and stuff of the game. But I hope you enjoy it. This is the very first draft of the budget challenge. If you're not already familiar with the budget challenge, well, I would say click on the link that's going to be in the description below. Mokog and I are doing this budget challenge where we each start with fresh accounts and $10 on the account. We're going to see how far we can get. So without further ado, I will let you watch the draft. I hope you enjoy it. I would say also pick 3, pack 1. I realized that I probably mispicked. Let me know what you think. I think the rest of the draft went interesting, and I wound up with a decent deck. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and let me know if you want to see more videos. On that note, definitely comment down below, comment, link, and subscribe, and until next time, less fail, more function. Alrighty, so there's a new YouTube local recording going, so for anybody just joining in, this is Function here, and we're doing the Hex Budget Challenge. So we're starting off with $10. This is the very first event or transaction that's taking place on this account, is that we just paid for 3 packs, and we're entering the draft, and that cost us what we were saying, 577 platinum total. Right now that doesn't show because it hasn't taken the 100 out for doing the draft, but 577 platinum out, and we got to see if we can get any further. We got to try to make that 1,000 platinum last as long as we can. We're joining this competitive draft right now. There's currently 5 people in it, and it should fire off pretty quickly. There are going to be some weird stuff going on here with the way I draft. It might vary a little bit differently than I normally do. Normally when I'm drafting, I go in try-hard mode, which usually backfires on me, but I go in try-hard mode and I'll ignore any rares that I don't care about enough to pick them up if I don't think I'm going to play them in that deck for the draft, or if I feel like I don't need to hate draft it. I could take them from my collection, and a lot of the time, foolishly, I just pass on stuff. Yeah, Function 2 days in a row. That's right, Snake. Welcome to the stream. This is the very beginning of the budget challenge. We're about to start the first draft, so that's kind of exciting. Hopefully it goes well. I got my fingers crossed that it does, that I'll just scrub out really hard. And either way, it's going to be entertaining. I predict that by the end of this stream, I'll have used all my lifelines, right? That'd be pretty good. But yeah, it looked like this draft was about to fire off. Maybe we'll say it in general chat, because that usually helps a little bit. What are we saying? We're saying, all right, 3 more, 4. If I can spell, draft. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, let's fire this draft. I want to play some Hex, not play some Hex Shards of Waiting. We can have a Draft Master Colin can join in and just AFK, and that'll fire it up, and hopefully I get matched up against them round 1. No, we want to keep this pretty fair, reasonable, because the whole idea is, somebody won't be able to go and say, oh, well, you cheated, Function, that's not realistic. And we already had a couple people saying stuff like, you're a really good player, it's unfair to have you doing this. And it's like, well, that's not true. I mean, we're just seeing out there what's possible. I make the rules. I don't know. I can't be breaking the rules if I made them myself. For this challenge, we could do whatever we want. Actually, speaking of the challenge, while we're waiting here, Dream World. Okay. So that's the forum post for the challenge. For anybody viewing right now, I linked it in chat. You can check that out. Take a peek at what Mokog and I have planned. It kind of details a little bit more. And Mokog has this super sweet recording of what he was doing. But in the meantime, now it's time to draft. Of course, the rare we get a Shrewd Manipulation, one of my favorite cards. And wonderfully so, there are a number of my favorite cards in this pack. This is actually a very good pack. The bummer is that we're passing so many amazing cards. What would have been wonderful for this draft is if the only good card in it was Boulder Brute, which is probably what I'm going to take. But this is actually a tougher choice than just that. I think taking Repel is just as good, if not better, of a choice. We have Buccaneer in here, which is really strong. I like Buccaneer a lot in draft. I know I hype up Boulder Brute an awful lot, so it seems like if I didn't take it here, I'd be cheating myself, so I think I have to. Boulder Brute's pretty strong. It can do bonkers things. Unfortunately, if we're taking the Boulder Brute, we probably want to be in Sapphire as well, so maybe that's a reason to take the Repel, but I think I gotta take the Brute. You know, the Honeycap might wheel. It's not amazingly strong. Fiendish Cabal is pretty good too. It's actually really strong. You can play it turn 3 and it'll swing for like 6 damage if your opponent's using a slow deck. So we got the Boulder Brute there, and we're gonna see what happens. And then we got an Extinction. All right, we will take that because that one, I think, you know, we were talking about cards that would sell. It's decent in draft, and this puts us. So we passed, we already passed a Repel, and now we're passing Repel Noble Citizenry. We're going to take the Extinction because it sells decently. I would guess the card that was taken, oh man, what was taken out of here? So maybe the person in here was AFK when the draft started. That's the only thing I can imagine, because I'm trying to think of other cards that could have been taken out of here. There might have been something like a Buccaneer taken out, or a Murder, but then Extinction is still in here, so it obviously wasn't a Murder, because I would have taken Extinction first. And I don't think I would have taken a Buccaneer over the Repel, even though there was a Citizenry, so you're passing a lot of good diamond and kind of might be putting yourself into a sticky situation. But yep, free Extinction it is. That seems like a good way to start living the dream ever so slightly. Oh, what is this? You gotta be kidding me. Another Repel. Oh, that's rough. I almost want to just take the Repel, go into it. Oh, man. Alright, so what are the choices here? Because we have to actually think of what's best for the sake of the deck. I think the choices here, there's no good blood, and we want to play the Extinction, and we already took the Boulder Route, so we want to play that too. We could go for the 3-color special, but I think we're going to go with the Honeycap. The choices really, I think, come down here is Sapper's Charge, Honeycap, and Repel. But I think we're going to go with the Honeycap. Yeah. We've already passed 2 Repels. Like, pack 2 is not going to be good for us if we take that. I think this is a trap. So we're gonna take the Honeycap. Try to make that happen. Okay, so what's the hidden card? That's an Arena Brawler, and there's nothing amazing in here. Turbulence isn't bad, and we could take it. This deck is going to have trouble against flyers, so it makes Turbulence pretty reasonable, and that might actually be the pick. Yeah. I like to commit early, though. Okay, well, we're not taking the Arena Brawler. I shouldn't click that. I think it's Sorrow, Mazet Ranger. I don't like Glimmerglen Witch all that much. Probably taking the Mazet Ranger. Turbulence still seems decent, though. Huh. Yeah, we're gonna go with Turbulence. This feels like a really weird pick, but I think that's right. Okay, Runear Commander, I like that. That guy's pretty good. Cavern Commando, although Ruiner Commander plus Extinction, probably not the best together, but it's still solid enough that I'm just going to take it. The blank cards, this is annoying. Yeah, I know, Neil. Yeah, that's very true. It just means you took the best card in the back. That was the best card in the back. It was clearly better than Honeycap. I was just more concerned, not about being 3-color, just about the way Pack 2 is going to look for me if I already passed such good diamond stuff. But it is what it is. That was probably a mistake. Ruiner Commander seems good, and we could even get on the Shinhair plan, which seems counterproductive with the Extinction. But Ruiner Commander can get pretty big, pretty easy. Wailing Banshee, also pretty good. Yeah, we'll probably go with Banshee. Yeah, I talked a big game about Ruiner Commander, but I'm kind of liking Banshee there. Just because we don't have a whole lot earlier, guys. It does apply some good pressure. There's our Conky Bunny that we should have taken the Ruiner Commander with. What else we got in here? Bottle Vitae. So I'm drafting kind of like a scrub right now. Probably should have taken that Ruiner Commander. I mean, what were my chances? We're going to take the Conky Bunny, though. I mean, we don't have any Shinhair yet, but we might get some. This will let us stall long enough to get the Extinction, or once we have it, be able to clog up the board. And really, I mean, Extinction's good, but you don't want to draft completely around it. The reason I say that is just, what if you don't draw it? I could have gone in on like the all removal deck, which actually would have been pretty good with the Boulder Brute. I still can, it's not too late. If I'm going like the all removal deck, where I would have been taking those repels, Honeycap's still not bad, because if I'm playing heavier into these colors, we're in decent shape. Okay, so another Cavern Commando is the missing one. We could take the Ronin, which I like. We could take the Sensei, which I kind of like too. We could take the Feral Ogre, which gets in there aggressively. We could even think about taking the Ruby Lance and go back on what I was saying earlier. We'll do Consort. Question is like, how aggressive do I want to be versus how late game do I want to be? I like the Ronin in some cases. I don't think this is a deck for. We'll take the Sensei. Still not really a thrilling thing. Alright, what do we got here? We got Mazat Ranger, which is probably the card we're going to take, which makes me a little bit less excited about the Sensei. We can even take Feral Ogre, but we're going to take the Mazat Ranger. The question is, what gem are we giving it? We're probably giving it, well, the -1/-1 gem I think is still bugged. We can't give it Swift Strike right now, which is probably the one we want to give it to most. Give it +1/+1, or give it Rage. Neither of those is too exciting. I still think I'm going to take it. Yeah, I'll take the Ranger. Alright, there's another Honeycap, we'll go with that. This was the pack we opened, right? So the Honeycap wheeled, and the diamond stuff is gone. The counter magic's still here though, which is kind of surprising because I really like counter magic. But we're going to try to get in on this Honeycap plan. We really want to pick up some removal and stuff. So what do we got now? We could take the Stargazer, which actually I made work pretty well for me the other day. Otherwise, we could take the Ruby Aura, attach it on the Boulder Brute. What we want is a Blood Aura. Put that on the Boulder Brute or the Wailing Banshee. We'll be in pretty decent shape. Ruby Aura, also decent with the Mazat Ranger. Question is how likely... I would rather be in Sapphire than Ruby, I think. So we'll take that. Probably not playing that. Probably... The question is, are we main decking Turbulence? We might. There's another Stargazer. And after what I was just saying, you know, we could take the Peak instead. Probably take the Mortar Strike, though. So, I mean, now we're getting to the point where we're taking cards we're probably not playing, but we have a decent-ish deck. Well, we want our, like, enough to keep us in the game, so Glimmerglen Witches wouldn't be all that bad for us at this point. We'll take the Reversion out of here. None of those cards are really hate draftable, though. Let's see how this all works. Alright, Cavern Commando, I gotta fix that art. Arena Brawler, Cavern Commando. I guess somebody might play that in a dwarf deck. Although they're not hard to come by if they were. Alright, Axebot and Fusion Device. And that's a late Infusion Device. You'd think those would be snatched up a little faster. We got Mokog joining in. Alright, so there's a Feral Ogre. Alright, what do we got going? Elden's Distress Signal, not excited about that. We got Blood Servant, which is actually kind of decent. We got a Briar Legion, which it feels late to be taking a Briar Legion. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been in on the Briar Legion deck a whole lot. We are in Blood, though, so we can get Call of Graves. I want to be greedy and take the Briar Legion. You never know what's going to happen in pack... what is it? Pack 3. And we didn't really pass any good Wild this whole time. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the Briar Legion. The other cards in here that we would be taking are Inquisition, which is good against cards like Boulder Brute. And, I mean, it's a strong card in general. Shroomshaw would be kind of interesting having the Extinction in there. There's not really a whole lot I'm thrilled about, and I just want to go in on it. Sure, we're trying to actually get some money's worth, but you gotta have fun too. That's part of the point, right? Hopefully we can pick up like 2 more of those and then Call of Grave, and then get your Murder, and we're like this. Yes, finally, we got something that we needed. We need more removal in this deck. We're passing more Diamond. We're passing that Terrobot. We're passing that Thunderbird. Passing that Darkspire Priestess, which Darkspire Priestess would be nice with this Extinction. I'm trying to go back and recollect whether or not I've passed any of them yet in pack 1, because that was probably a mistake on my part if I did. Surge Mechanism, as a rare, not something we're really excited about. So we're going in with this. Another Concubunny. Hey! So we're finally getting more stuff paying off for us. There is a Call of Grave in there. But there's also a Crazy Squirrel Titan, and hey, that's the kind of stuff we want. This time we're not passing anything stellar, so that's fine. This looks alright. So we could even... I'm fine putting that Mortar Strike in the deck if we feel like we end up needing the removal. Alright, so what do we got as far as cards go here? We got a Darkspire Priestess, we got a Terrible Transfer, we got a Blood Aura. There's a lot of cards in here. Yeah, I gave up the call, but the Crazy Squirrel Titan much better in this case. Okay, yeah. Alright, so there's a lot of good cards here. I think Evolve probably a trap for us. Terrible Transfer might be a trap too, because we're probably trying to go heavier on Wild here with the Honeycap, so we could almost just go another Honeycap, which seems pretty decent, right? I think it's either Honeycap, Priestess, Blood Aura. I think Blood Aura is the pick because we already have a Boulder Brute. Blood Auras come around less often than Honeycaps do, and that first Honeycap that we opened in pack 1 wheeled all the way around. So yeah, we'll go with the Blood Aura there. Okay, what do we got? We got another Stargazer. We can build that Stargazer deck. We'll probably take the Corpse Fly. That seems pretty solid for us. There's another Priestess. It sucks we're passing all these Priestesses. Maybe one of them will wheel. But that's kind of crazy that the Corpse Fly made it. Because this is pick 16, 17, 18. This is the 3rd pick of this pack, so I guess it's not too far along. But catch you later, Red. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. That rhymes, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to probably go in on the Corpse Fly plan. I don't see why not. That seems pretty solid. It does suck that we passed that Inquisition. We have Extinction and Boulder Brute, which are both kind of those hold on to them and wait cards. Kind of the same with Squirrel Titan. It is what it is, though. So this deck's shaping up a little bit. We've got some removal. We've got some decent cards going. Alright, so what are we looking at now? So we could take the Mortar Strike again. I kind of want to give that a shot. I'm not thrilled about the Ronin. because I don't think I'm really leaning towards an aggressive deck here. We're probably actually going to cut the Feral Ogre, and we're likely going to cut the Briar Legion. And we might not even be doing that whole Concubunny thing. Take the Headless Executioner going on my Rock League deck. We're gonna try doing this Mortar Strike here. I think we can make that work. I would like another Shard of Fate or a another infusion device. All right, so was this wasn't the pack we opened. It's very similar to it though. We got Bullpaw Wizard, which is so-so for me. It goes with the Concubunny. We could take the Terrible Transfer. I don't know how heavy we're going to be in on it. And at that point, if like we picked another Terrible Transfer, we'd probably cut the Mortar Strikes, because the transfers are going to be better for us, I think. We're going to get more upside from the life gain. In which case, I think I'll take the transfer. Because hopefully we'll be wiping their guys away. We'll go in with removal. The transfer, we might not end up playing, so this was kind of a weird pick for us. We could have even taken the Terrabot and hated it. But this is fine. There's a Sword Trainer, and we are in Ruby, almost. Yeah, this is crazy late Terrabot, another one. So, the person we're passing to might be the one playing Dwarves, if it's getting all the way around here. It's either like a person next to us, the one after that. The question here is, do we take Sword Trainer or Terrabot with the likelihood of us playing neither of them? I probably would less like to play against Terrabot, so we're going to take that off. And now we got Blood Savin in here, which is probably what we're going to take. At least it's another kind of pseudo late game card. It's kind of awkward because it only is a basic action, but it's actually not that bad. We could take the Research Adept. There's been so many demolitions in this draft. Could have gone on that infamous Neo demolition dot deck, right? We're gonna cut that Terrabot though. We're not playing that. Probably not playing. Well, we're not playing the Stargazer. Probably not playing that Feral Ogre either. There's another Terrabot, but we actually want the Darkspire Priestesses, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. That Terrabot wheeled all the way around. That's insane, right? We're definitely in the wrong colors. No, this has worked out for us. We picked up some good stuff this pack. We got the Murder, we got the Squirrel Titan. Mokog's in here. He can tell me how much those extinctions are going with his super sweet spreadsheet. I'm guessing maybe it's like 300 platinum or so for an extinction. So we at least kind of paid for some of the stuff, maybe. Is there anything playable? I guess Guard Dog's kind of playable. Is there anything we don't want to play against? We don't want to play against the Army Ants? Yeah. Guard Dog is kind of playable. Army Ants a little bit less so. I mean, they're still not bad cards, but we're not concerned about either. Alright, so there's another Honey Cap, and I think this was one that we were thinking about taking earlier. And Construction Plans Warhulk. Like, somebody has a really ridiculous robot deck. I'll take the Glimmerglen Witch, which is pretty decent for us here. So, what did we take first that pack? We picked a Briar Legion over kind of like some other mediocre stuff that we weren't really necessarily excited about. I want to call the grave even more now that we have these Honey Caps in here. Headless Execution we might play. Doubtful, but we might. Alright, so I'm feeling pretty good about that Extinction pull. I mean, that was just luck, so that wasn't skill. The rest of this was all skill of making me fail. Alright, so Researcher Adept out of here. Probably not playing the Mazet Ranger right now, even though I was kind of hyped off it earlier. Alright, well there's another playable card. At least we're opening decent. Better lucky than good, right? I don't even know if this one sells for anything. Looking at the rest of the cards in the pack, there's nothing stellar for us. There's that Burn in the Ground, but we're only going to play one Ruby Shard anyways, so that would kind of put us in the plan of playing more. We're going to take the Zombie Plague, though. Seems pretty solid. Seems great for what we're trying to do. If we're trying to go the long game, that's the card you want. And it could potentially shut down their bombs and you didn't even know it, kind of thing. Yeah, so we're taking Zombie Plague. There's a Blood Ore in here. We already have one, though. So I'm pretty happy with this pick. Yeah. Alright, what do we got now? Incubation Slave, kind of awkward if we have the Extinction, but if we don't, still pretty solid. We can take the Inner Conflict and cut the Mortar Strikes and play those instead. In that case, Neo gets to laugh at me even more for not taking Repels. Also, we have 23 cards right here. Incubation Slave is alright. What are we not playing? Well, we're not playing this Concubunny, right? How much do I not want to play against Inner Conflict? Yeah, draft pay for. Alright, we're just gonna quit now and say that we did alright, right? We'll take the Incubation Slave. We'll try to up what we're doing a little bit. Getting to 6 is kind of rough. I wouldn't mind having the Howling Brave, even though he eventually gets blown up, but we're doing alright. Okay, so there's Inquisition or Darkspire Priestess. Right, that's the choice. Wild Growth in there too, but we're not going to take that. Probably for our champion, we're going to play Zared. Inquisition or Darkspire Priestess. Well, I kind of want to play the Darkspire Priestess we have. In which case, what are we cutting? Because if we're going to play one, we need to play both. I like the way it interacts with Extinction. We're probably taking out the Mazat Ranger because we don't have a whole lot to make exciting in there. If you drop right now, you might not get your 5k gold that you need to fill your commons and uncommons. Good comment. The unfortunate part of playing Mazat Ranger and the way we're doing the Ruby is we can't give it the unblockable gem. Okay, what do we got again? Corrupted Afterlife I don't really like all that much. You're getting 6 power off of it, but it just seems, for its cost, if it's in your hand, it seems kind of clunky. I think we're going to take the Bolt Paw, but probably not main deck it. We might... Oh, we're not going to play this as Executioner either. Okay, so we got Bolt Paw. Probably not main decking it, like I was saying. Atrophy seems good for us, but I like the Sensei, just because we don't have... Our early game probably isn't as good as it looks, and we do have a decent amount of removal that I'd rather draw the card earlier in the game than with Atrophy. We're going to run Zared too, so we kind of have that Atrophy value a little bit there. I like having our Sensei. Shadow Grove Witch, not terrible. Is there anything we're concerned about? We could take the Vine Trap, but the double threshold actually is kind of... It's a little punishing. It got me pretty good the other day. When I could have been playing Glimmerglen Witches, I opted to play Vine Traps instead in a primarily wild deck, and I just didn't get my stuff I needed in time. That was pretty rough. We're going to take the Witch. We could even take just like the Uncommon, because we're trying to build our playset of Uncommons, but I'm not too concerned about the cost there. I think we're going to do fine. There's nothing really to hate draft. Maybe the Pegasus, but we're going to take the Witch. Alright, we take another Mortar Strike, we can take a Nature's Reigns. I think I'm going to go with the Nature's Reigns just because we are a little bit concerned about that that artifact deck that might be out there. But we're not going to main deck it, Nature's Reigns. We're probably not playing Terrible Transfer here. It's hard to do with as much blood as you're running for the traps. Traps? What are you talking about, traps? What? How many blood is Zombie Plague? 2? And Savant is 3. Yeah, so I mean, we still need to cut a card. It's probably going to be a Terrible Transfer currently. You hush, Mokog. That's what we have Turbulence for. Alright, so we're probably taking Howling Brave here. We could take Pyromancer, which I'm not thrilled about. We could take Glimmerglen Witch, but I think I want the Oh, it's hard to do the traps. Yeah, that's what I was saying with the vine traps. Pretty much, exact same thing. Vine trap's pretty good though. I mean, 2/4 on that turn. It's basically like a mystic or a griffin, but it doesn't have flight. And in some cases, the flight wasn't all that relevant if you're only ever using them as a blocker. Okay. In this case, I think we don't want to play against either the guard or the scout. The scout is actually a little scary. If they do like scout into noble citizenry, all of a sudden they can be putting on some punishment. Whereas this at least comes down a little bit later. So I think we'll take the scout out. Alright, what do we got now? So we can take the scout out. Determined zombie, fine with that. I guess we can take out the aura. We could take out the Ronin. There's been a lot of Ronins. We could have built that like really, really aggressive deck. We'll just take the aura out though, I think. Taking this guy out seems likely. Hey, so there's our Inquisition that we passed on earlier. We got this in. We've definitely, I think we've actually seen more than 4 even. Oh god, we've seen a lot of those Ronin. We could have gone in on that Sapphire deck, playing the Ronin. We didn't get as much fixing as I wanted. I wanted one more piece of fixing. But it is a single threshold, so hopefully we'll still be able to hit it. I'm not even sure if we're going to be on that. We're going to take the Quick Strider out, because Quick Strider is pretty good. Ronin Warriors? That was the anime, right? Like where they all had their armor. That was a cool one. I remember that. Like that was when I was in. I can't remember how old I was. Probably in elementary school or something when that was out. That one was cool though. No, I don't think it was that young. Maybe it was middle school. We're gonna play that Radiant Armor deck. I think I actually have gotten wrecked once by Radiant Armor. I can't remember when, but it was like, why are you playing that? It's such a trash card. But they got me with it, so you know, won't pay it off. Take that Vine Trap just in case. Not gonna play it though. Alright, so we gotta just figure out whether we're playing the Mortar Strikes or not. I kinda want to. We were talking about liking Mortar Strike the other day. We only ended up picking 1 Boulder Brute up. There's not a whole lot for it to do. We're not giving it flight, and we only have 1 Blood Aura. But it is, I mean, 4/4 is a lot. It is a big body. I think those honeycaps are going to be even bigger bodies, though. So we're not playing the Briar Legion, clearly. Well, we're probably... Rachu's asking if the Mortar Strikes are a challenge. They're not. I just wanted to keep that open for myself. I'm not going to be playing the Terrible Transfer, most likely. I might just... Or I might keep the Terrible Transfer. We're going to build the deck right now. I might just build the deck without Ruby at all. And then, yeah, we have 2 pieces of removal versus 1. But I like the transfers. Transfers are good. Really, eventually we're going to play something powerful with this deck and be able to win pretty well. We might even actually play the Executioner. But let's see what we look if we don't play Ruby. Because that's definitely a possibility. I mean, that was a possibility all along, and I kind of mentioned it. But the Mortar Strikes are there as an option. Okay. We might not end up playing that Sensei. Okay, so we got Murder. And probably not going to play that Mazet Ranger either. Alright, so that's 22 cards right there that I just added right off the bat. We have the Infusion Device, which I don't even know if we want if we end up going this route. We have the Glimmerglen Witch. Okay, so this will do sort by cost. And, well, yeah, no, we definitely want the Infusion Device. It's kind of nice to have an Infusion Device or some sort of fixer. Later on in the game, when you draw the transfer, when you draw the honeycaps, you can kind of choose which way you want to swing it. Hey Seiju, thanks for joining in. Welcome to the channel. Doing good stuff. I'm trying to do our budget challenge here, seeing how we're due. Even if I scrub out, which is totally likely, because I still probably was right to go Diamond instead, hopping in on that train. If it really was first pick Repel or Boulder Brute, if I had taken the Repel, not that I would have known, if I had taken the Repel, I probably would have ended up with a better deck. The rare was Extinction, which I still would have taken. and that was taken over a repel, but I would have wound up with what, a blood diamond deck then, and would have been in decent shape. I passed 3 repels, maybe 4 repels, and an inner conflict. So that's a lot of removal that I ended up passing on. And what I got out of it as far as wild isn't necessarily amazing, but it is what it is. I still would have liked to have a Call of Grave, but we actually surprisingly didn't see any as the draft went later and later. Somebody else snagged them all. So what are we picking for champion? We're going to go with, what was I saying, Zared. So if we go Zared and we don't do the Mortar Strikes, that's probably fine. And we're going to do 17 resources, so I still need to cut a card. Just got to figure out what that card is. It might be Howling Brave, it might be Blood Savant. I mean, I don't think we need to cut the Blood Savant if we're playing Terrible Transfer, because they're both in on that same thing there. We'll sort the cost again. I think I already did once. Let's see what this last card we're cutting is. Just looking at my curve right now. As far as removal goes, like, I kind of count Corpse Fly and Inquisition as pseudo removal because they kind of are in a way. They're removing cards from hand, and they work in ways that other cards don't, and accomplish the same goal at the end, more or less. They're not onboard removal. Okay, so if we were counting those, we got 1, 2. They're disruption, I guess, and removal is a form of disruption. That's a better way to word it. 1, 2, 3. I like playing the Shadow Grove Witch in this deck. Maybe cutting the Sensei might be the choice. Maybe cutting the Bolt Paw Wizard. We were saying we weren't really thrilled about main decking that. Yeah, because what am I going to sacrifice with the Bolt Paw Wizard? I don't have anything that generates tokens. Yeah, we'll cut that for now. So we'll go like that. And we don't even know that we're going to have anything where we need to revert it. If it turns out we do, we can bust out the Bolt Paw Wizard. We can even do shenanigans where... Oh, okay. Well, Zombie Plague doesn't work the same way that Corrupted thing that puts the 3 zombies into play does. Because you can actually revert those zombies and get something sweet back. But with this one, you can't because it voids them and then puts them into play. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're doing our shards. Probably gonna go 10-7. Maybe 9-7 because we have the Howling Brave. Or 9-8, I mean. So I do not like running Savant and Terrible Transfer when that might be tough. But yeah, we'll just go. Now I would have liked to have a Wild Aura in here too. That would have been nice. So is that my only socketed guy? Yeah, seems like it. Our sideboard's not bad. Are we playing the Turbulence? We could put the Turbulence in instead of something, because I think Flyers are going to be a problem for us. We're going to put the Turbulence in, because Flyers are going to be a pretty big problem for us. We know there's all those Terrorbots. We can bring in the Nature's Reigns against them, but this way this also hits like anything that's using Feather on it, a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll keep the Turbulence. I like that in there. Yeah, I almost forgot about that card. So what do we cut for Turbulence? And then we're all done. We can fire it up. Savant seems... So the card that we're not sure about is Transfer, right? Like the late game transfer for 4? Yeah, we're going to take out the transfer. Because I still want to bank more on the Honey Caps. We need some way of doing damage. And really, we don't have a whole lot of like big beaters, and this deck is kind of leaning towards having those. The Salvant's still awkward, but at least once you hit 3 and you get into that late stage, he's still solid. So I guess at that point I'm saying, do I like Turbulence more than Transfer? I think I actually do. It's gonna blank a lot of the time, but I think I have a decent chance against the ground fight. I have to watch out for the Ruby gem. That's gonna be problematic. But we have Zared, and Zared's really good against that deck. So I think we're fine. Did we gem everything up? Yeah, it was just the Boulder Brute, right? Yeah, no other stuff. Okay. We'll see how this works. Hopefully we'll do okay. What do people think? I think people think I'm gonna lose really fast, or am I gonna make it a little further than that? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's conditional removal versus direct damage removal. In this case, I'm just thinking, like, what am I most vulnerable to? There were some Construction Plans Warhulk. That's kind of scary. And Transfer would eventually kill those, but if I want to go heavier because of the honeycaps. So I'm fine like this. It's still a pretty even split. Yeah. No, I wanna do better than round 2. I mean, this is a decent deck. We have some decent cards going. Extinction. It was second pick pack 1, so one person saw it. But you know, we have a 1 in 7 chance getting paired against the person who saw it, and I'm not even convinced that person saw it, because I really do think that person was probably AFK for pick 1 pack 1, because there was a lot of really good stuff in that pack, and I don't think there could have been anything that was better than the stuff that was in there. So they must have been AFK, because I'm trying really hard to think what might have been in there, and there could have been a Boulder Brute, but I don't think I would have taken that. I mean, I took it over Repel, but I don't think I would take it over Extinction. Not pick 1 pack 1. Especially when, like, taking the Extinction in that case, blood might get cut from you, which would be bad. You don't know what's coming. And it is double threshold, but that's not hard to hit. But you're not showing it to anybody. You didn't, in my case, like, one person knows about it. Also, it you know, some people might play around Extinction. Maybe once we get to round 3, they might expect a little bit more, because they'll have known, or if we get to round 3, right? They might expect a little bit more, because they're going to expect that somehow I got to the round 3. But earlier on, you might not expect it as much, because it doesn't pop up as often in draft. And we're still going. Timer's still ticking. We're going to be posting this one probably up on YouTube. We'll see how it goes. We're hoping we're doing pretty well. And the question is, did I draft well or not? Did I pick the right deck? So there was a really good robot deck floating around, but I think I was already in on a deck before I did that one. That was kind of later, pack 1, I want to say, or pack 2, that all those Terabots showed up. Really, it came down to, should I have played Repel, or should I have played Boulder Root? Also, I mean, taking this Briar Legion, I think I took it over like a Blood Aura, Darkspire Priestess, and Inquisition, maybe 1 or 2 other things, and I wanted to try it. You gotta have fun every once in a while too. Yeah, what did I pass as far as rares went? We passed, what was the pick 2, or pack 2 rare? I can't even remember. Oh, there was Eldon's Stress Signal, that's what it was. And then pick 1 rare, or pack 1 rare was Shrewd Manipulation, which I love, but my affinity for that card is higher than most others, and it is more so than it should be. Okay. It's not me who's taking their time. I wonder if the person who was AFK has been AFK this whole time. If they like forgot that they queued up. I've done that before. Came back and it said, like, it had the winning screen where it just showed all your cards or whatever it was. You're like, I don't remember joining a draft and like, oh wait, I missed that entire thing. Awesome. Alright. It looked like it just flashed something, right? It looked like it was about to fire? Oh, that's weird. Oh. How's it going, babe? Well, I mean, I'm streaming, but... Oh, Clarissa's coming over to say hello. Hey, kitty cat. Past about 33 platinum value. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. That's funny though. Clarissa? Here, kitty. Here. 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 I got you. Oh, there we go. Now we gotta say drafting with Clarissa. She says, where's all the cat cards in Hex? We need more cat cards. Ah. Oh, Calyx wants to be on the internet too, huh? Says, may you have all the luck of Kismet on your side for your challenge. And may you fail and scrub out in round 1. Because I hate you and I'm a cat. No, something like that. I got hair on it off. You got hair everywhere, Clarissa. That's the worst. Ugh. She almost knocked my webcam over, too. Alright, so if you've gotten this far, you've watched the drafting process, and unfortunately, I don't get to play round 1. Fortunately, that means I got a bye. Strangely enough, I think there was somebody AFK in the draft, so because the way it all worked out, somebody dropped from the draft, and somebody was also AFK. I got paired up against the person who was AFK round 1, and what do you know, but Colin was also in the draft, and he got paired up against he got the bye round 1. All I will say is keep on watching, because even though there was no round 1, round 2 was probably one of the greatest rounds of Hex I have yet played in draft, and it was incredibly fun, and it really was down to the wire. So without further ado, watch the next draft. The video will probably be a link to round 2 down below, or you can find it yourselves, all kinds of fun stuff. But hope you guys like it. Thanks for sticking around, and thanks for tuning in.